What's going on, everybody? Look at the face cam. Look at the jersey. It's college football. Pick'ems. Hopefully, I leave the link in here. There's a Capital One Bowl Mania. But I figure bowl season's like the best time. Like outside of the NFL playoffs, bowl season is what I live for. And unfortunately, this is as close as the Florida Gators are going to get this season to a bowl game. But I still rep them with pride, baby. Come on, Dan Mullen. Bring us back to the big times. But I figure we kind of, I'm going to give you guys a breakdown of my picks, kind of what I feel about these bowl games. Make sure you join my group. Prove me wrong. Let's, I love bowl pick'ems. I think there's still a friggin', what do you call it, thing in here? Good, I just took it out the wall. If you've ever watched any of my face cams, I've only done a couple. The Tebow jersey's usually in the back. All right, without further ado, we're going to go through each individual game and kind of go why I think said team is going to win. You may agree, you may disagree, let me know. So first, we are starting here with the Celebration Bowl, which I have no idea what the qualifications are. But we're going with North Carolina AT&T Aggies, simply because they're the undefeated team here, sitting at 11-0 versus 11-1. Plus, that's where Tariq Cohen came from, the very talented scatback special teamer for the Chicago Bears. So we're just going to go with those guys. Plus, Grambling Tigers just have a clear ripoff of the Georgia Bull. Actually, I don't know. Maybe the Georgia Bulldogs ripped off the Grambling Tigers. I don't know for sure. But yeah, it looks like America agrees with me, 61%. All right, moving on to the R&L Carriers New Orleans Bowl. We have the Trojans, 10-2, going up against the North Texas Mean Green. Hopefully that's named after Mean Joe Green. We're going with Troy. Troy upset LSU earlier in the year because they're dominant on the run, and I don't think this 9-4 Texas team. What do we got with the preview? What did that pop up? Let's see what we got here. What's the run? That's not even that bad for the run back for Troy. Chun, 774 and 10. I just don't think the quality wins. I remember, they got bodied by Florida. Anytime Lane Kiffin puts up 41, I'm going with the team that upset LSU with that run game. So we're going to give the slight edge to Troy Trojans. Again, it looks like a landslide according to America. This should be me, based off of my picks here, pretty much. But there we go, going with Troy. Next up, in the Auto Nation Cure Bowl, we have the Western Kentucky Hilltoppers, 6-6, going up against the Georgia State Panthers, 6-5. I get that there's certain qualifications that go into bowl games, but you're telling me Florida couldn't get in over one of these guys? We're going Western Kentucky because they have Mike White. What's his stats? You got Mike White. He's a draftable quarterback going to the Senior Bowl, 3,800 yards, 24 touchdowns, 7 picks. Now I'm saying, and I'm going to talk about some of these players, I have no idea if they're playing in the bowl game or not, especially for some of these games like the Auto Nation, goddamn. Who cares about this bowl? But I'm going with the assumption that everyone is going to be playing, and I think Mike White and that passing attack for Western Kentucky should be able to get the job done. Plus, they've been producing some pretty good wide receivers. Didn't they have? I can't remember. Was it Carlos Henderson or Tywan Taylor? I think it was Tywan Taylor. Who was on the Tennessee Titans. He came from Western Kentucky last year. Prolific passing offense versus Georgia State, who I can't even name a guy on Georgia State. So we're gonna go with Western Kentucky in that ball game. Next up is the first interesting game. The number 25 ranked Boise State Broncos, 10-3, with I am assuming a half Canadian quarterback in Brett Rippon, going up against the 7-5 Oregon Ducks. Now it looks like a landslide here for Boise State. All C4 is going with the Oregon Ducks. You know why? Even though Boise State, I think they have a pretty good, look at that, 215 yards allowed defense. They have a pretty good defense, but when they play a team that has the attack of a now healthy Justin Herbert, who might be my favorite quarterback in college going into next year. They got Royce Freeman. I don't know if he's playing or not. He might be one of those fringe guys that might not. But that just running attack and the elite caliber QB that is Justin Herbert, I think it's going to be too much for that Boise State Broncos. I remember Boise, if I'm mistaken, lost a shootout to Washington State, which they did. And that's going to be a similar ball game. I don't think their good defense is going to propel. So I'm going with actually the upset and taking the Chip Kelly, formerly Oregon Ducks, in that one. All right, going up here, we have Colorado State 7-5 taking on Marshall Thundering Herd. We are Marshall. Shout out to Vinny Curry in the Gildan. I like those shirts, Gildan. Freaking plain white shirts. New Mexico Bowl. I'm going with the popular pick, Colorado State Rams. I believe they have Stevens and one of the best wide receivers, Nick Stevens, and one of the best wide receivers, Michael Gallup, in the country. Gallup's definitely having a meteoric rise. Might have a similar effect to what Zay Jones did when he was coming out last year from ECU. I just think that Colorado State passing attack is going to be too much, even though, me and Colorado State, that offense with old Jim McElwain's not on the best of terms right now. I think they're able to get it done over the Marshall Thundering Herd. So that moves us to the, what is this? Raycom Media Camilla Bowl. Ooh, alright, well, Middle Tennessee has the man, the myth, the legend, Richie James. But we're going to go with Arkansas State in this one, 7-4, as a complete gamble, just because they have Justice Hansen. Look, I knew that off the top of my head, because look at those numbers. I'm going, in these games here, I'm going with the prolific passing attack than the consistent. Look at that, 7 touchdowns, 9 picks for Middle Tennessee State. I mean, what do you call it's not even their leading receiver, Richie James. So, give me Justice Hansen, who says I don't know Arkansas State football. What a shout out to know their quarterback off the top of my head. I'll go with that. It looks like they might be a little turnover prone, a little bit. But, we, in a game like this, of the battle of who gives you, what's, we'll go with Arkansas State. Moving on to the, what the hell's that? Cherubundi Tart Cherry Boca Raton Bowl. For the dumbest name, we're going with Joey Freshwater, Florida Atlantic. Florida Atlantic, Singletary, the running back. Let's see if we can get his stats. He is actually putting up godly numbers. I'm very interested to see how well he tests. I think he's a senior. Look at this. 29 touchdowns for Devin Singletary. That is insane. They have Driscoll, who I assume is related to former Florida Gator quarterback Jeff Driscoll. But that, I mean, Florida Atlantic, a.k.a. Last Chance U. They have John Franklin's there. I think they had 2 guys from the actual show the last season. But that Singletary dude is an absolute monster from a statistical standpoint. Very interested to see how that translates, how well he tests in the draft. But this is going to be a big show game from him against Akron, who went to the, whatever conference they're from. They're in the finals. They lost to Toledo, I believe. So they're like a decent team. But I expect Florida Atlantic's offense to be too much for them. So yeah, going on to the, what's this? DXL Frisco Bowl. We have SMU going against LA Tech. Ooh. You know what? We'll go with SMU. Again, I'm just going with these guys I know. Cortland Sutton. These guys are going to want big bowl games. I don't know if they're playing. Like I said, in the last game we had Singletary. I assume he's going to play. But Sutton, a guy who's pretty much consensus will go in the first round. He might want to, kind of lay a little bit low here. Maybe say, I mean, this game's not going to improve my draft stock too much. But again, it's a common theme here in my picks. I'm going with the prolific passing offense. Neither one of these teams have, LA Tech has a bad defense. That's a bad matchup against a team that likes to air the ball like SMU. So give me SMU there in a landslide. Next up, we have the Bad Boy Mowers Gasparilla Bowl. Temple Owls versus Florida International. Now, my heart says go with the Philly team, go with Temple, but I'm going to go with FIU. I don't know, is Crystal Ball, maybe Crystal Ball still their coach? I'm not going to lie, this is a complete gamble. I just know that Temple, in the one game that I went and watched them, did not look very good. They have a really good freshman defensive end that had a bunch of sacks. I can't remember the name of him. But this might literally, after the Confederate, whatever the hell that was, the Confidence Bowl, I'm going with just the team that... look at the defense. 600 yards, 500 yards. This might be a shootout. I'll go with a little bit better offense here. Look at that. Marchie, 9 TDs, 8 picks. Give me Florida International, an absolute pick'em. Next up, in the Bahamas Bowl, we have the UAB Blazers, now reinstated, going against the 8-4 Ohio back. Give me UAB. Go with the good, feel-good story. I have no idea anyone on their team. I think they had a Last Chance U guy, but he kind of flaked out there a little bit. But I would assume UAB is a really good... Oh, maybe not. I guess I misquoted them. Jeez, Ohio is a really good rushing. 244 yards rushing per game. Again, pretty much another pick. Who really knows a whole lot in these games? Oh! What's this matchup predictor? 73% to Ohio. Maybe I need to second guess this. What Ohio? They lost to Buffalo, Akron. They beat Toledo. Okay. What about UAB? Rice. Well, obviously Florida stomped them. You know what? We're going with the transition. We're going to go, if Ohio can compete with Toledo, I'm not going to go with the feel-good story. I'm going to go with Ohio here. All right. Moving on to the famous Idaho Potato Bowl. We have Central Michigan going up against the Wyoming Cowboys. Now, I don't know if Josh Allen's going to play in this game. I'm going to go with the assumption that he is, and I'm going to go to Wyoming because he's a guy that absolutely needs to help his draft stock. Unless you watch like Matt Miller on Bleacher Report, who's absolutely in love. I'm pretty sure Matt Miller is Josh Allen's agent. I'm just going to go with the guy that definitely has not had the best of years. We've got 1,600 yards, 13 touchdowns, 6 picks for a guy that's, at some mock drafts, I've had him as the #1 QB off the board, even ahead of Darnold, Rosen, Baker Mayfield, Lamar Jackson. I mean, I think I'd be against him unless he's injured. I know he has been nicked up a little bit, but I think he played the last game or so. This is like a time for shine. He needs this. So I'm going to go with Wyoming here, even though they look like a little bit underdogs against Central Michigan. Alrighty, here we go. The Birmingham Bowl. We have Texas Tech versus South Florida. Not going to be a whole lot of defense in this game. Probably will look a lot like South Florida versus UCF. That was an awesome game. I'm going to go with Quentin Flowers here and the number 23 ranked South Florida Bulls. Flowers is good. They had this Valdez, I don't know his name, Valdez Scantlin. He looked actually pretty good, even though, you know, you put up the gaudy numbers that Texas Tech does under Cliff Kingsbury. Give me Quentin Flowers in his final game. He's probably going to be a guy that if he doesn't make the, you know, transition to maybe wide receiver or running back in the next level, this might be his last game professionally, and he's a baller, man. Absolute baller. Reminds me of Pat White when he was at West Virginia. So give me South Florida in that ball game. Charlie Strong gets the win. We have next up the Lockheed Martin Armed Forces Bowl. San Diego State going up against Army. Give me Rashad Penny and the San Diego State Aztecs. Running attack. I mean, you know, they thought when you lose a guy, I don't even want to talk about it. When you lose a guy like Donnell Pumphrey and his historic numbers, you're a little bit worried that you're going to maybe make a complete change of how you approach offense. And Penny was able to step up with 2,000 rushing yards, 19 TDs of the year. Give me that rushing attack. I mean, this is gonna be a game I don't expect very much passing yards. I wouldn't be surprised to see less than 200 combined because obviously Army runs that gimmicky offense with Ahmad Bradshaw. I guess no relation to the former Giant and Colt. But I'm going San Diego State. I'm going with the better players are going to win this game. So San Diego State wins the Armed Forces Bowl. All right, now we got the Dollar General Bowl, where we have Appalachian State. Never forget that time they beat Michigan. Going up against the Toledo Rockets. Is it the Mack that they're in? I want to say it's the Mack. I could be wrong, but Toledo Rockets, I'm pretty sure they won the Mack outright, beating Akron. So we're going to go with Toledo. They're still absolutely vibing off of the success of Kareem Hunt earlier in the year. With Kansas City, but they got Logan Woodside. What's he have? 3,700 passing yards, 28 TDs to 5 interceptions, but he is one of the sleeper quarterbacks in this year's draft class. I can see him going in the middle rounds and potentially being a starter at some point in the NFL, but he certainly has those capabilities to be a potential starter, maybe. So I'm going with the best QB. I mean, Lamb is not that bad. I've heard about him being a potential late round draft pick. I think it's Tyler or Taylor Lamb or something like that, but I'm going Logan Woodside. Sleeper QB, one of my better favorite ones. And plus, look like they can run the ball. They're running back 1,300 yards, 14 TDs. Explosive offense wins this game for Toledo. Next up, we have the Hawaii Bowl. Fresno State, 9-4, going up against the Houston Cougars. I don't know a whole lot about either one of these teams outside of Houston having the #1 draft pick next year in Ed Oliver on their team. I don't think he's going to be good enough to be able to get them over the edge. Let's see. I literally don't know any of these players. So I'm just going to go with Fresno State because, hey, Derek Carr and Devontae Adams. We'll go with them. Next up, we have the Utah Utes and West Virginia in the Zaxby's Heart of Dallas Bowl. What? West Virginia isn't, what do you call it? It's out. Will Greer's hurt. Isn't he done for the year? I'm going Utah. I'm thinking Utah in this ball game. Utah has the defense. They have Darren Carrington, who's one of my favorite wide receivers. I'm pretty sure Will Greer's out in this game. Are you going to tell me if he's injured or not? Did he play the last one? 9, 12. He didn't play the game against Oklahoma. I'm pretty sure Will Greer's hurt. Is Will Greer? Can we Google this? Will Greer. Your status. Not good. All right, again, how are they the favorite? This is just people blindly picking. Give me Utah. Utah plays good football. They're going to win that one. Whatever game that the Zaxby's, they can eat, what are they, fried chicken or something? Give me Utah, 6-6. All right, next up, we have the Quick Lane Bowl. Duke Devils going against Northern Illinois Huskies. I'm taking Northern Illinois in that one. Better offense, solid defense. I don't know a whole lot. I'm not going to lie. I don't know a whole bunch about these teams. Ooh, Duke's defense is even better. Why am I mistaking their defense? I'm not going to lie. This is a total pick'em, to be completely honest with you. So, yeah, we're going with Northern Illinois. Who am I thinking of? Honestly, okay, never mind. Act like I know something about football, and I'm pretty sure I just thought NC State was Northern Illinois. All right, moving on. We have the Cactus Bowl. Kansas State Wildcats going up against UCLA Bruins. Now, this is interesting because I would probably expect Josh Rosen not to play in this game, but I'm going to go under the assumption that he will And for some reason, even though Kansas State is the projected favorite here, give me UCLA in this ball game. Kansas State, they're able to run the ball well with Jesse Ertz. I think they had a backup QB in there a little bit. But if Josh Rosen's playing, especially lastly, who's been really, really productive the last couple weeks, I mean, they lost 2 in a row to Utah and Washington. But I feel like Kansas State, you know, it's going to be a running attack versus a passing attack. Give me the passing attack in this clutch game. If Rosen does in fact play, he's going to want to put his best foot forward as he gets ready for the combine and gets ready to take the next level to try to get that, you know, consensus. I'm going #1 if the Cleveland Browns do decide to draft a quarterback, so we'll take them. We have here the Walk-Ons Independence Bowl. Southern Miss Golden Eagles going up against the Florida State Seminoles. I'm going to say Florida State. Seems like all the players wanted Jimbo out of there. Now he's gone, so they're going to play for the regular season. Blackman's nothing special, but they do have that running attack. They still do have a tremendous defense. I think that's going to be the decider in this one, especially for a guy like Derwin James, who hasn't had the biggest season. This will be a prime time for him to be like, oh yeah, Derwin James is pretty good. So I'm going to go with Florida State in this one. We have in the Pinstripe Bowl, Iowa against Boston College. Boston College's running back's actually really legit, but Iowa is a really, really solid football team. You got Stanley, who's a very nice quarterback. You got Akrum Wadley, and I think they have actually another running back that's pretty solid there, but the running attack for Iowa, old school smash mouth type football. This is going to be a hard-nosed game. Give me Iowa, though, in the victory. Looking at, what's this one? Foster Farms Bowl, Arizona versus Purdue Boilermakers. Give me Arizona. That quarterback is like a freaking nature Tate. Not a great passer, but he played like, what? Didn't he miss like 3 or 4 games? Still finished with 1,300 rushing yards and 12 TDs. Give me the dual threat over Purdue. Now we have Texas versus Mizzou in the Academy Sports Plus Outdoors Texas Bowl. I mean, it's the Texas Bowl. I mean, the Longhorns are pretty solid. I think, oh, what's the name of their quarterback there? Sam Ehlinger. Too inconsistent. You got Drew Lock, who you know, at some point I have to use him on a rebuild. 43 touchdowns on the year. Ehlinger's just,
won 6 in a row.
I don't want any goddamn audio here. I don't want to get a copyright strike. Ehlinger's very inconsistent. Seems like, you know, he'll have 3 or 4 good plays and have 2 or 3 head-scratching plays after that. Versus Drew Lock, prolific offense. Give me Mizzou in this one. SEC bias. Boop. And they're the favorites, actually. Next up, we have Virginia versus Navy in the Military Bowl, presented by Northrop Grumman. Sounds like a 90-year-old man. Give me Navy in that one. You know, it's gonna be tough to stop their gimmicky offense. I'll say that they're gonna run the ball very, very effectively and squeak with that win. Now we're getting to some more meaningful games. We have the Camping World Bowl. Virginia Tech, number 22 ranked, going against number 17 Oklahoma State. Give me Mr. Mason Rudolph, James Washington, Justice Hill. Too much offense for Oklahoma State. Very exciting game. I mean, Virginia Tech does play decent defense, even though the numbers aren't there. They still have Tremaine Edmonds and a couple guys that probably will be draftable. But give me that Oklahoma State offense in a big... that game could very well be a good shootout. I do like that. That Virginia Tech quarterback is interesting. Josh Jackson could be a first-round draft pick in 2 years' time. All right, now we have the Valero Alamo Bowl. Number 15 Stanford going against number 13 TCU. I think TCU is overrated every year, so give me Stanford. Again, you know what? Now that you're getting into these big ranked games, you don't know what star players are playing, what star players are skipping the bowl games. But under the assumption that maybe Bryce Love will play, I'm going Bryce Love, man. Bryce Love's an absolute baller. There's a reason why he finishes one of the top 3 Heisman finals with Baker Mayfield and Lamar Jackson. Unbelievable talent. I don't know if he's going to declare. I haven't read a whole lot of news about Bryce Love and what his intentions are to do after the season, but I do think that Costello's serviceable enough for them to win, even though Kenny Trill can have big games. Give me Stanford in a close one. Next up, we're getting down the nitty-gritty. The San Diego County. I just refuse to read all that. Too many C's. The Holiday Bowl. We're going with the Holiday Bowl. Number 21 Washington State going against number 18 Michigan State. Give me the offense. I'm going Mike Leach might leave. We'll go with the safe pick. We'll go with the Perrin Crow. 18 Michigan State. Not a whole lot of good things for Michigan State this year. LJ Scott disappointed a little bit, but you know, I think there's a little bit of turmoil there in Washington. I don't want to bet against Luke Falk. I think he's going to be a guy that definitely will be draftable, might be able to make something at the next level in the NFL. But wasn't the rumors Mike Leach might be going to Tennessee? Well, I mean, half the coaches in the country are rumored to go to Tennessee. It's a tough one. You know what? We'll flip it. We'll go with Washington State in this one. We'll go with the offense because it's an underdog. I want to have a couple underdog picks. All right, now we have the Belk Bowl. Wake Forest versus Texas A&M. Give me Texas A&M. Still better than Wake Forest. I mean, Wake Forest has a decent tight end. They have Jesse Bates, a safety that's really solid. But Texas A&M still has a bunch of players, especially a guy like Christian Kirk, who hasn't had the best of seasons. Full time's the perfect time for these guys to remind the NFL why they should be drafted fairly high. So I'll go Texas A&M's offense. I don't know who their interim coach is, but maybe they'll play better for them than they did for Kevin Sumlin. Now we have the Hyundai Sun Bowl, NC State going up against the new Herm Edwards coached Arizona State. Give me NC State. Bradley Chubb's a monster. They play good defense. They play, don't turn the ball over a whole lot on offense. So I'll take the 8-4 Wolfpack. Now we have the number 20 ranked Northwestern Wildcats going up against Kentucky. Give me Northwestern. Thorson is a solid QB. I'm going with the better QB in this matchup. Now in a game of who really cares, New Mexico State against Utah State. Give me Utah State. That's a complete guess. I know Utah State. Who's their QB? I don't know one single guy in that game. So yeah, we'll go ahead and go with Utah State. Better program overall, I guess. All right, now we're getting into some nitty gritty here. Number 8 USC going against number 5 Ohio State in the Cotton Bowl. Give me Ohio State. They're going to be upset that they didn't get into the playoffs. I don't know if Urban Meyer's already faked a heart attack yet and decided to leave Ohio State. But assuming he is on the sidelines, I think he will go. But interesting, this could be Sam Darnold's last game, or will he return? There's rumors that because the Browns might have the first pick, he might want to return to college. But I think for now, you want to go Ohio State. I mean, JT Barrett's definitely going to be playing, and it's going to be his final game in Ohio State. So I'm not betting against him. Plus, Ohio State is a better defense. Now we have the Louisville Cardinal going up against the number 24 Mississippi State Bulldogs. No more Dan Mullen. Give me Lamar Jackson. Very similar to the JT Barrett scenario. Personally, I still feel like Lamar Jackson should return one more year. But if not, I think he's going to want to ball out in his game here against a, little bit of a coaching change. Plus, Fitzgerald got hurt in that game again. I can't remember what game it was for Mississippi State. LSU maybe? I don't know. But he's out for the year. They don't have a starting quarterback. Give me Lamar Jackson all day long. Now we have the Liberty Bowl. Iowa State going up against Memphis. This is a tough one because Iowa State might be one of the more underrated teams. They play every team close. But Memphis, I like Riley Ferguson a lot. They have Anthony Miller, tremendous wide receiver. I think it's going to be a little too much offense. Would not be surprised, especially because this one-sided little bit of a poll here, if Iowa State wins that game. But I think I'm going to go with the better combination. Plus, Anthony Miller's just that damn good. Now we have the Fiesta Bowl. Penn State going up against Washington. Give me Saquon Barkley. Trace McSorley probably playing his last game. I don't know if Trace McSorley's going to get drafted. I was surprised he was a senior. I thought he was a junior. I like Washington. I think Washington usually is one of my teams that I tend to pick over a lot of teams because they play defense in the Pac-12. I like Browning. I like Myles Gaskin, but I just think that's a great game. This is probably the best non-playoff bowl game, I think, in my opinion. It's going to be close, but I think Saquon Barkley has enough juice for them to win. But more so if he doesn't play because he might not want to declare or risk getting injured. Give me Trace McSorley in that one. Now we have the number 6 Wisconsin Badgers going up against the number 11 Hurricanes. Canes are in a free fall. They're pretty much playing like the Kansas City Chiefs of college football. So give me Wisconsin Badgers. Jonathan Taylor's a monster, man. That guy's a superstar. Now we have Michigan 8-4 going up against South Carolina 8-4. I'm going against Will Muschamp and give me Harbaugh to get a bowl game there. I think that's going to be a boring game. That's going to be a game that's going to be 12-6 all field goals. But I think Michigan can edge that one out. Now we have an interesting game. I think this game's going to be awesome. The undefeated number 10 UCF Knights with Scott Frost returning to coach going against not the experts number 7 Auburn Tigers. You know what? I'm just going to say screw it. Give me UCF. I'm rolling on them. I firmly believe Auburn will probably win that game. Kerryon Johnson will be a little bit healthier. They were pretty much banged up against Georgia, unfortunately. Give me UCF. Just let that keep rolling. I want to see a team finish undefeated. But if I was really taking this seriously to try to win, I would take Auburn. But why not? Next up, we have the Citrus Bowl. Number 14 Notre Dame going against number 16 LSU. Give me Notre Dame all day long. They're going to run the ball. LSU couldn't stop Troy running the ball. They're not going to stop Notre Dame. Now we're into the playoffs. We have number 3 Georgia 12-1 going against number 2 Oklahoma 12-1. Give me Baker Mayfield and the Oklahoma Sooners. I think Georgia, they did deserve to be there, but again, Georgia's so one-dimensional. If you can stop the run, and Oklahoma has some guys in that front 7 that are decent against the run, you just stop the run. That's all you got to do. Fromm is not going to, in a big-time game, be able to throw the ball 30 times for them to win versus a guy like Baker Mayfield that can do that. Georgia has some killers on defense. Roquan Smith is really, really good. Maybe the best defender in college football right now. That's a hot take a little bit, but give me Oklahoma in that ball game. And then we have, in the Sugar Bowl, Alabama against Clemson. Now, Clemson does have kind of the Achilles heel for Alabama. If you have a mobile quarterback, it seems like that is what has caused Alabama to struggle, which is kind of odd considering don't they consistently practice against a mobile quarterback in Jalen Hurts. I'm going with Alabama on the upside. I'm a Clemson Tiger guy. Clemson, I'm not in the business of having a second team or anything like that, but because, you know, I like to, outside of Florida. After Florida, there's everyone else. I try to have one team in each conference just because in Canada, we don't get to pick a whole lot of games that we get to watch. So I like to, just because we usually get one game of each conference. Plus Brian Dawkins. I don't mind Clemson. Clemson, I would say, obviously, Deshaun Watson is one of my favorite players of all time. I definitely would like Clemson as if I was going bias, but I think Alabama's going to be too much for them this year. And then, so that means it's going to be Oklahoma and Alabama in the finals. I'm going Oklahoma. I'm rolling with Oklahoma. That's my gut again. Kind of like where I took UCF. I feel like Alabama is still the most complete team in football, but I think the magic, the college football magic, falls on Oklahoma, falls on Baker Mayfield, who might very well win probably should win the Heisman. I think it all comes together for Oklahoma as Baker Mayfield walks off in the sunset with maybe the most unclear draft projection of all time. Where is he going to go in the first round? Is he going to go in the fourth round? Who knows? But he could very well have a Heisman Trophy and a college football championship. So there you go, guys. Those are my predictions. As always, check my Twitter at beastmode_TV. I have an official bull pick 'em. I don't know if there's going to be a prize or not yet. Maybe it's going to be, you know, bragging rights that you beat Beast Mode in a Beast Mode C4 in a prediction thing. But let me hear your college football bowl predictions. I cannot wait. When does this start? The 16th, so that is like a week or two from now or something like that. I cannot wait though. So hope you guys are as hype as I am. Thank you for watching. Until next time, it's C4 saying peace out.